Oh, yeah, that was Blackheart Saints with their new single, High Road, from their upcoming new album, due out in the coming year or so, right? Once again, Blackheart Saints is Josh Ross on lead vocals, Mark Sean on guitar, Nathan Flores on drums, and Ian CG on bass. And with us today live via Zoom is guitarist Mark Sean. Hello and welcome to the Hair Metal Mixtape, Mark.
Hey, Gabe, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. So far, so good. The spring's slowly creeping in here in the upstate New York area, man. How's it down there in Austin, Texas?
Well, the sun is shining bright down here. It's we just played a festival in San Antonio this weekend, and yeah, definitely feels like a summertime already. So yeah,
that's awesome, and that's a great summertime song, man. Congratulations on this new single, High Road. Great song with a great vibe and sound, man. It feels like it still sounds like a Blackheart Saints song, but now you got this like slide guitar stuff happening, man, which is a nice touch. Is this addition something you brought to the band, being the lead guitarist?
actually, so who played on that was Jelly Ellington, who is a guitar player in Austin, and he's got his own band, and we brought him on. We like to feature special guests here and there. We've had our pal Hayden Vitera play some violin for us, so here and there we like to bring in little guest musicians here and there, and yeah, it really worked out well. So
that's awesome. Was that like a pedal steel, or was he doing like the just a straight up bottleneck, if you will?
it was the bottleneck on a guitar. You have to have a certain kind of guitar too, adjusted in such a way where the action is very high. So the string height has to be a little higher off the bridge than normal guitar to really make it sing. So
that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
So High Road seems to be the third release since the Misery Lines EP released in 2019. The first was Reach the End, which was a great, like, hard-hitting, straight-up hard rock release to kick off the new stuff. Then you guys released Shining Light, which I consider like a power ballad, right? Which is not a bad thing in my opinion. And now you got High Road, which goes down that tastefully like Southern rock feel, man. Are all these songs from the same studio sessions, or are they different because you guys recorded them at different times?
So they actually are from the same session. And we actually were next weekend, we're shooting a music video for the fourth and final release for this little collection of songs. And then simultaneously, we're also working on some new stuff as well. So yeah, we're staying very busy right now.
That's awesome, man. So all these songs are going to be on this upcoming full length, huh?
Yeah, we're kind of we've been focusing on the format of releasing singles because that seems to be the way. It's hard to get people to like really sink into an album these days. So we're kind of debating now how if we're gonna release these together, maybe as a vinyl, because there's a bit of demand. We haven't really done a vinyl yet, so maybe we'll put on vinyl or CD. So yeah.
So has there been talk about maybe like naming this album or something? You guys have a name for it, or you guys haven't even gotten to that bridge yet?
Because we've been marketing these as more singles than albums, we really don't have a necessarily a name for it. I mean, in the past, we've chosen a title track. So we may decide to go that route. We may just keep them just as singles. So it's time will tell.
That's awesome, man. And what's the name of the next single you guys are going to be releasing, if you're allowed to say it? I don't know.
Well, it's actually a cover, and it's a cover of I'll give a little clue. I can't really talk about it too much, but it's a song that was released in the early 80s. And there was never a music video for it, even though this artist has a lot of other music videos. But once you hear that song, we've been playing it live a few times. Yeah, we're really excited to shoot that music video this weekend and release that very soon.
That's awesome, man. You guys have that superstitious cover you guys do, which is pretty awesome, man. I love the take on that too. So I'm glad. I'm going to be psyched to hear this one, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I was just watching on the Live from Sweetwater Studios show you guys did on YouTube, and it's also been released as a live album, man. That looked like a totally fun gig.
It was great. Yeah, they brought us in for their masterclass program. So they had us as the kind of the guinea pig band for a few people who came in to learn about recording, whether mixing, mastering, just even laying down tracks. So these are aspiring recording students who wanted to work with a band and see what does it look like when you go to a studio with a band? What does it take? And so they, we got to be used as the case study for that. So it was lots of fun.
Yeah, man, that's great. I noticed two songs on there that I haven't heard before on any recordings, Traveling On and All Night Long. I mean, maybe I just missed them, but are those originals, and are they going to be on these new releases coming up?
So those are originals. Those came out on the Alive album back in 2017. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're more tucked away towards the end of the album. But yeah, so we've been playing those for a while. Those are favorites that will hopefully could bring those out more in our sets coming up. So
nice, man. Yeah, they're great songs. The great thing about your sound too is that the live show seems to come across on this as like on the studio recordings, which for me is a good thing. Do you guys usually record all together in the same room for the same studio recordings, kind of like you did for the live from the Sweetwater Studio show?
That's how it starts off initially, and then maybe go back in and there's usually more than one guitar track that I have to play, so I'll be layering those up, and then Josh will go in there and he'll do some backup vocals. He'll do, different kind of vocals here and there. So, there's definitely, we do layer things more in the studio. I mean, like, for example, we're bringing in a saxophone player for a tune coming up soon. So yeah, we're really expanding things and putting the ability that we have within the studio to full use.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And, I noticed on your website, you guys are announcing I don't know if you've announced any tour dates yet, but like, do you have any info on tour dates or what festivals you guys are already booked for this spring and summer?
Yeah. So I can speak to that. So we're going to be actually this week, we're announcing our High Road to Myrtle Beach Bike Week tour, which will take us kind of in the south and southeast US. We'll be playing Myrtle Beach Bike Week, of course. There's a date in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. We'll be doing the Cajun Heartland State Fair in Lafayette. There's a festival in Michigan that we are pretty sure that we're going to be playing, but we'll announce that later this month as well. So we'll be everywhere.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're going to end up being nominated into like a bike gang soon.
Yeah, well, we've been playing a lot of bike rallies, and yeah, it's been great. We recently have a new partnership with Harley Davidson Footwear, so really been embraced by the biker community, which is really awesome.
Yeah, man, they're definitely loyal, man. That's a good thing to have there too, definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of Harley Davidson, man, in the meantime, I noticed you can get all of your like Blackheart Saints, everything like music, videos, merch on the website, which is blackheartsaintsmusic.com, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And there is tons of merch on there, man.
We do. We have lots of different shirts, CD, even hats, all kinds of accessories shipped right to your door.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about your guys' past, but when did you hook up with these guys?
So Josh and I started the band several years ago, and we met in a really old school way. I saw his flyer at a music rehearsal room.
Nice.
And, just looked him up and gave him a phone call. And we met the other guys along the way too. We picked up a drummer, Nathan Flores, who's from San Antonio, Texas originally. And then we met, we call him Mercury Man, or Ian CG, our bass player. He's originally from Wisconsin. And none of us other than Nate are actually native Texans, but we all met in Austin and formed the band.
That's awesome, man. And like, what's it like touring in the van or the bus with them? You guys have similar taste in music, or you guys all just headphone it and go on your own thing?
Well, it's kind of, it's kind of boring. Like, we're not really, people have this image of a rock band, just constantly just loud, music going on and all this chaotic stuff. But man, sometimes I'll just listen to a podcast or something, or, just something more quiet and relaxed. And once we get to the venue, it's a whole different kind of thing. And that's when you're going to get your energy levels up again. So. Yeah,
man. In my past as tour manager and like front of the house guy, same thing. You'd all be in the van and like everyone is just in their own headphones, in their own world, doing their own thing.
Yes. Some of us be reading books, playing video games, watching videos we shouldn't be watching, whatever it is.
So do you guys have a preferred place to stop and eat when you guys are on the road? A little side question there.
It's a good question. It depends where we're at. I mean, we've, like as far as, we try to, if it's a new town or a new area, we try to find out what is the specialty. For example, we were in Cincinnati and we had to try the Skyline chili there. Everybody says, try that there, so we try to find the unique spots. If we're able to, if we get time, we'll do that.
But yeah, I remember doing like a full tour just off the Cracker Barrel map.
Yeah. That's not too bad. It's cheap, good food. So.
Yeah, right, dude. That's what it comes down to a lot, man. It's for real. I also noticed on your personal website, markshawn.com, that you're involved with a bunch of other projects, man. Are these like personal projects to you, or are you like a hired gun type gigs?
So I mean, I've Black Art Saints is my main gig, but in the past I've done other collaborations. I've done some hired gun work here and there. But yeah, so I've been doing this since, man, since I was living in Indiana as a teenager. That's where I got my start, and eventually made it down to Austin, and been fortunate enough to be staying busy so far. So
Cool, man. What was the stuff you were listening to at home when you were growing up?
I was big into a lot of people when I was growing up. They were listening to things that I didn't really care for, So, for example, they were listening to a lot of the emo and the screamo bands at the time. But I actually, for some reason, I really taken a liking to the grunge era when I was in high school. So I was really late to that, like 15 years too late to that. But I was digging into the catalogs of Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, that sort of thing. And then through that, kind of found earlier bands, and from the 80s and 70s, and went further back.
Right. And the guitar was always your first instrument, or were you playing some other stuff too?
I started on drums, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get the foot and the hand coordination out. And then I switched to bass, and then did bass for a little bit. And now I'm on guitar.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's probably like all the time we had today, but is there anything you'd like to mention or promote that I might have missed?
Well, like you mentioned, we're going to be pretty much everywhere this year. So check us out at blackheartsaintsmusic.com. You can get tour dates, merch, anything related to the band there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this and taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on and let the listeners get to know a little bit more about you and Black Heart Saints, man. Good luck with the upcoming album and live shows and everything you guys are doing, man. You're welcome back anytime soon.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks for the chat.
All right, Mark. Thanks again, man. Keep rocking.
You too, man. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care.